queridas y queridos, mi nombre es Oscar Adame, soy editor de WARP y hoy vengo a presentarles una entrevista con Paul Sanley de KISS. Paul Sanley es una figura famosa, relevante dentro de la industria de la música, debido a que fundó y ha elaborado como el principal compositor y el principal vocalista de la agrupación estadounidense KISS, a la cual se le considera como la precursora del rock pesado y también a la cual se le considera como la primer agrupación, el primer acto en vivo que realmente estuvo interesado en realizar un concierto lleno de fuegos artificiales, un concierto lleno de pirotecnia, un concierto lleno de escenarios monstruosos, que más que ser un acto de música en vivo, terminó transformándose prácticamente en lo que es un acto circense, lo cual se considera como una de las mayores innovaciones de KISS. Paul Sanley, además, laboró como el diseñador de tales escenarios, el diseñador de los vestuarios de la banda, de los maquillajes, incluyendo el propio como el personaje de The Star Child, y también como uno de las cabezas más interesantes con respecto al marketing alrededor de la música, que llevó a KISS a ser el proyecto que más dinero ha generado en toda la historia con respecto a la mercancía. Él ahora mismo está separándose un poco de lo que llevó a ser reconocido como vocalista y líder de KISS para centrarse en su lugar en una colección de canciones que nacieron de su alma, una colección de covers a clásicos de Motown y de otros intérpretes de soul, en un proyecto que se llama Soul Station, el cual acaba de lanzar un nuevo álbum llamado Now and Then, y que pretende no solamente ser una reflexión con respecto a la música que lo llevó a iniciar en la música, sino también a los gustos que terminaron por definirlo como persona desde que era un adolescente, desde que era un niño. Hablamos sobre eso y más con Paul Sanley en WARP. It's nice to meet you, Paul. I read a lot about your next album. And well, one of the things that I think is one of the most interesting and I'm most interested about is the fact that, well, it is like a passion project because it is like also pretty nostalgic for you, right? You are making the songs that, how do you say, that really like make an impression for you in your childhood.
That's verdad. Yeah, it's true. It's I grew up listening to so many different kinds of music, and I've always believed that there's only two kinds of music, good and bad. And people who only listen to one style of music, that's like eating one kind of food. You get malnourished. It's not healthy. So I have always believed that all those different musics have something to offer you. And in KISS and in everything I do, there are influences. It's like a good recipe. There may be a pinch of this and a little bit more of something else, but every one of those flavors make the product what it is, make the recipe what it is. So there's always been influences in my music of soul and R&B because I saw Otis Redding when I was in my teens. I saw Solomon Burke. I heard Smokey and the Temptations and all the great Motown acts and the Philly International bands. So it's all been very important to me. Now I'm just kind of emphasizing and putting the spotlight more on that than the other bands that influenced me, like the British rock bands. Yeah. So the emphasis may have been there before. So some people who don't know me well would go, why is he doing this music? Well, I sing it in my house. You're just not in my house. So it's not new for me, but having Soul Station, which is a band with members of all different nationalities, all different ethnicities, all brought together by this passion for music. And who knows passion better than, Mexico? I mean, corazón is what makes everything happen. So this is in my heart and in my blood. And so it is for the rest of the band. This is music made by human beings. flesh and blood,
Yeah, sure.
not computers. And there's a big difference. To hear this band live, to experience it live, or to hear the album or see the videos, you see joy. And that joy cannot be faked. You cannot pretend. So it's a music that's very important to me, and I think deserves to be heard because it's timeless.
It's interesting because, well, yesterday I saw your speech on Polestar, and you really make the point that you don't really like the new era of musicians to use samples of songs of Motown. I suppose that it is because of this that you are saying now, that it is live music and it is really warm because of it.
I think that everybody has a right to their own taste, and everybody has a right to like certain music or like other music more. I think my point is that this music has become just little samples that get played in rap songs. That's okay, but these songs are so great they should be heard in their entirety.
Sure.
And by putting this band together and recording this album, I think it spotlights the timelessness of this music, and I think that's a good thing.
It's interesting. Yeah, I really want to talk with you about this, the importance of discover music from your childhood, because this is a record that you're making because of your love to that music, because you listened to that as a child. It's interesting to me because I also think that KISS and your work as a whole is work that is pretty much, I think that kids have a special, connection with the work that you have done. And I want to know, if it was your interest to really speak to kids, because, the things that you discover as a kid end up defining you and end up being much more important to you than the things that you discover as an adult.
Good question. I don't believe I am here to educate anybody. If I show people how I live my life or what I like, it may open a door for them. On my social postings on the internet, I'm riding my bike, I'm cooking. So I like to share those things with people because we're not different. People are more alike than they are different. And if I do something I like, there's a good chance there are people out there who will like doing it also. So this music, like some of the other music that's more obvious to some people, it's the foundation of my music. You can't make music just like you can't build a building without a foundation. And my foundation is blues, folk music, classical music, R&B, British rock. It's also important to me. And interestingly, the people who I look up to were the same way. I remember saying to Jimmy Page, we were having dinner, I said, before I ever heard, British rock, I heard soul music. Well, everything is a result of what came before it.
Sure.
And certain music doesn't grow old. That's why the songs on Soul Station don't sound dated. You hear them and they sound alive and fresh because they are. Because good music is timeless. It's always important, I think, if you listen to music that you loved 10, 15 years ago, some of it doesn't hold up. That's understandable. I've heard some bands that years ago I thought were really good. And now I hear them go, it hasn't worn well. It hasn't, it can be like some wine. Some wine just turns to vinegar, you know. So there is music that has lasted decades and deserves to. And with Soul Station, I think that the music we're playing and the music that we're writing is music that is timeless. I think it's world music that the whole world can enjoy.
Do you think that that's the reason why kids also like you very much, from all generations?
I think that people appreciate not being preached to, not being told how to live their lives, but being told that they should live their lives. You know, I don't want to tell anybody what they should do specifically, but I want to tell people there's a big world out there. Go and be you, be who you are. So I think that that's a message that people have embraced, that our audiences have embraced. I'm not telling you to be like me, I'm telling you to be like you.
Yeah. Do you think that that's also like the message that you have always been carrying around and maybe a lot of part of your success?
I think so. I have never allowed myself to be caged or kept in boundaries by other people's ideas of who I am. I have to decide who I am, and so does everybody else have to decide who they are. People who tell you something is impossible, well, they're the people who failed, or the people who are afraid that you will succeed.
Yeah.
So I've always been somebody who puts his hands over his ears, puts a hand out maybe, and runs forward. And I'm here to tell people, you can succeed. You can, if you believe in yourself and you have something to offer and you're willing to work hard, you can succeed. So that's always been my message. And I think that's always been the message of KISS, is that celebrate life and don't hurt anybody and make the life that you deserve.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. Well, it's interesting because also this record shows another face of you, and it's in that way like a new, how do you say, like a new way for you to reveal more about yourself and to let people know who you really are, being that this is like the music that founded you.
Absolutely. I think that everything that you do allows you and the people around you to get to know you better. I get to know myself better when I do something that I haven't done, but it also allows other people to get to know you better, because people, especially when you're somebody famous, they only know what they see. So the more they see, the more they know.
One of the things, I think I didn't express myself that good because I asked you because of about the things that you have made that speak to kids, but I'm not saying that about kids. I'm saying to childs, really to infants. I want to know, it's interesting to me because I know that you are a musician that has been around for decades and that a lot of old people really like your work. But one thing that I see that every generation has surrounding KISS is that there's always childs very interested in your projects.
I think it's because children feel the spirit. They feel the positivity of what we do. And I've always tried to carry that in my life. When I meet little children, I get down on my knees. I want to be on the same level with them. They don't have to look up like that. We can communicate better if we're eye to eye. So I think that that's part of who I am, and what I've tried to project is that we can experience and we can do so much with the encouragement of each other.
Yeah. Do you think that there's like a responsibility, or it is? If do you think it is very important to speak to children all around the world?
I think it's important to respect children, and to maybe you guide them not by what you say, but what you do. If you tell a child a certain way to behave, but you don't, well, that doesn't work. So I think we have a responsibility to children. Some of us don't take it seriously, but children learn from what they see, and we need to be the best role model possible.
That's pretty great. Well, I'm running out of time. I'm just going to say one last question, and I want to know really like, well, you have said a lot of times that KISS is not just a band, that it is much longer, that it is. I want to know, like, really, what is your perception about the work that you have made throughout your life, and what do you think is the most important thing that you have made to society, to bring something to it?
I hope that we have shown some people that anything is possible if you're willing to work hard for it. We weren't if you were betting on horses, we wouldn't be the horse that you bet on. But we believed in what we were doing, and we worked really hard. And I think that with fame comes a responsibility to give back. And perhaps whether it's talking to you or reaching in my pocket or making people aware of certain things, ultimately, we can all help each other be better.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Paul. It was my pleasure.
And mine.
Bye-bye.